So we're cranking away here on Inks Lake, and the pedaling is very easy. Look at how fast you can get going. It's not that hard. There's some resistance though, so you do get a workout. So I caught a little catfish back there, and I'm gonna go around this corner up here that way, because I know I looked at maps and there's a deep, like 40-foot hole out there, and I'm gonna try to get over it, see if I can anchor, and then just sit there with the baits down in the water, see if I can get a big one, get away from where people are. So here's where I caught the small catfish. I decided to put my camera on a rock nearby so I could kind of get an overview of me fishing out here. I was using a little ultralight rod here, and I was fortunate enough to get a good bite. Just starting to reel, the fish actually was pulling me away from the bank a little bit. So I thought it was bigger than it was, so I had to grab the net. So a handy piece of gear that I had bought allows you to pick up the fish by the lip without having to stick your hand in there. And that's good with little catfish like this who have stingers on their fins, and they can get you. But I had to switch out my hats because my other hat had the camera attached to the top of it, and I didn't have it on for the catch, so I decided to put it on for the release. I noticed when I watched the video that I had picked up my camera in the background sitting on the rock, so I just thought I'd throw that picture in. And now this catfish, he's getting ready to be released. At first when I looked at it, I thought it was a trout because I didn't see the whiskers, but because it had like a mottled side, but it was a small catfish. So here he is, the first fish caught in my new kayak. Go back and get bigger. So here's some more footage from the camera that was set on that rock on the bank. I figured I'd do that just so you could get an idea of the entire kayak, the size of it, what it looks like in the water. That storage compartment in the front is cracked open a little bit because the bag I was using with my drinks was a little too big. But I'll know for next time and do some different things. In fact, I'll have to do some different things overall to fix the space better for fishing, which I'll be able to do. Move the seat back slightly and readjust the pedals. There's a few things I can do to make it better. I thought this would be an interesting shot to include, so I put my camera on the front left side of the kayak and went ahead and got it started and put it in the waterproof case, sealed it up, and then jumped in the kayak to launch it off from this point. Had to switch the batteries out in the camera. So the idea when you're launching in really shallow water is you have to paddle out until you know it's deep enough to drop in your paddles, which are fin-driven paddles. So the fins go down into a hole in the center of the kayak, and then the whole thing just gets locked down in there very easily with two turnable pins that are just really quick to use. So I just kind of speeded this up to show you. Got out into some deeper water past the weeds and stuff. And then I slowed it down to show you what the pedals look like. So you can see the fins on the bottom, and it's got a series of pulleys and cables on it. So you just face it in the right direction and set the pedals right in with the fins going into the water. And then I didn't show it on the video. I had to lean forward, but you just clip a couple clips on the bottom and you're ready to roll. So this is the real cool part about having a pedal kayak. You can just pedal and you can, have a drink of Gatorade. And I was even thinking, gee, I'm going to switch out the lure on one of my rods. So reach back and pull it out of the rod holder and find the lure that I wanted. Just kind of drift along and pedal and reconnect the lure on it. And then it's just off to do some more fishing for the rest of the day. So you'll notice my hand goes down to the left there and turns a handle. That's the rudder, so that's how I can steer the kayak. So I made a couple adjustments, and each time I touch it, the kayak starts to move in a different direction.